Hey VC, everybody passing through YouTube, welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoy yourself for this little segment. This is a vinyl tag. It's a contest 1 year in the VC from DARRYL. DARRYL's YouTube channel for VC is called Northern Vinyl Guy. Great title, great guy, very down to earth, has a great affinity toward newer things. He's younger than I am, so he has a lot more knowledge about newer records, stuff that's just come out up in Canada where it's cold. It's cold here too, but he's up in Canada. But a great guy. Check out his channel, Northern Vinyl Guy. And he's got a 1 year in the VC contest. It's almost ending, so if you want to get on this contest, you could do it, I guess, within the next couple of days. He said that he is going away for the weekend. His son is in a hockey tournament. This is just a recent video I watched, and I hope his son has a great time in the hockey tournament. I hope his team is victorious. I hope everyone stays safe. It's a dangerous sport. I've never played hockey, fooled around on the ice, but we don't play hockey up here. We play basketball and baseball and football and stuff. So, but it's a really fun contest. It's not difficult. So jump on it. He has all the questions on his page. That if you go to his videos, it says 1 year in the VC contest. So I have everything lined up. I'm going to go through it. Share a lyric that has a unique, unusual, or strange word in it. So that's question number one, or challenge number one. And I found two. One is from this album, which is a great sounding record. This was redone by Analog Productions as a 45, but this is a stereo copy. This is probably a original reprise. I'm sure it's a tricolor reprise, the first pressing. This is great. Dean Martin, Dream with Dean. If there's any Dean Martin record that you need, it's this one. And if you only have one Dean Martin record in your collection, this is probably one of them. But the lyric I'm going with is from a song called I'll Buy That Dream. And on I'll Buy That Dream, the lyric goes something like this, which I always thought was really cool, considering this is probably mid-60s record, I believe. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking, 63, 64, 65 or whatever, but you guys probably know. But the lyric is, a honeymoon in Cairo in a brand new auto gyro, then home by rocket in a wink. So you have a brand new auto gyro in a Dean Martin song. And auto gyros are those one-man helicopters that, if you know the Bond movie, You Only Live Twice, Bond had that sent from London to Japan. It's a little one-man helicopter. It's an auto gyro. So given the time of this album, that was pretty high-tech. The next one, I'm going to do two on this one because this I was listening to the other day. Rick Wakeman's second solo album, I think, was released in '74 here in the States, reached number 3 in UK. Here it charted. This is a audiophile master, but this record has a lot of strange phrases in it because it's narrated by David Hemmings. It's the story of Journey to the Center of the Earth, with Rick Wakeman writing tunes and writing narration for, at this point, the narrator is David Hemmings, a famous actor, director. Also directed David Bowie in the movie called Just a Gigolo. It also has a German title. It's a German film with Marlene Dietrich. So he was a great actor, great director. He has that great British pronunciation. But one line in here is, look up from our telescopic lair. So telescopic lair to me is a pretty interesting phrase. And inside this, here's the booklet with the libretto, basically. But this is from the original. The libretto is not included in the master edition, but I do have copies of the original, so I pulled this out to show you. And inside this record and inside this narration are multiple weird phrases and words that, prehistoric words, things like, echelon, epoch, and things that you wouldn't hear in casual conversation. So that's response to number one. Number two is show a vinyl pressing from your collection that is not from the country you live in. That was easy. That is the Beatles Japan, a Japanese pressing on Apple. This is from the Beatles Are Forever series, which is very good. I did a whole review on this record. This is a compilation of Beatle tunes. It's not a particular album because it's called Beatles number 8, I believe, or Beatles number 5. I'm sorry, Beatles number 5. So it's a Beatle compilation, really nice. And here you can see some artwork that is familiar to us on some American records. But this is the OB. It's a really cool record. So that's a foreigner that I am not from. Next one up is, if you are from Canada, show an album from a province that borders the one you live in, or a U.S. state that borders the one you live in. So I'm going to show this one, although it's not pressed in New York, but I'm going to show this because it was recorded in New York. The Rolling Stones live at the ROCKN, NYC. This was a really cool record. Lady Gaga's on here. This was actually pressed, I guess, after Hackney Diamonds came out, but it was recorded before the album was released. It's limited on white vinyl. This was recorded in New York City, October 2023. A really cool record. And here's the label. So live at the ROCKN, New York, borders my state. And I'm sticking with that answer. And again, check out DARRYL's channel. Really cool channel. If you can, go on there and sub. And sub all these new channels. Hopefully you sub our channel, Tony's LPs Are Us, if you like what you see and you like the content. Next up is a album from the 80s. Show an album from the 80s. That was a tough one, but this one got pulled because I had just looked at it the other day. Culture Club, Color by Numbers. I believe it's 1983. And you can see the hype there. It's in shrink. It's got the original price tag on it. Great album. Hard to believe that this album is from 83. It seems like, to me, 83 is yesterday. This has Karma Chameleon, which is also a funny phrase or a weird phrase I could have used for the first question. Victims, Miss Me Blind, Culture Club, The Great Boy George, great record. 1983. Next up is show. Well, I missed one, but number 4 was. That was number 5. Number 4 is show a musical item or paraphernalia in your collection that's not a record, basically. And I'm showing this. This is a lava lamp type item that you can see is from Yellow Submarine. It's like new, it still works, but when I show it in this with the ring light, really the colors don't really come out. But this revolves. It has the blue meanies. It has the Yellow Submarine, a really cool Beatle item. So we love the Beatles. Okay, I've had that a long time. Don't know where I got it. Probably in a yard sale or estate sale, but works perfectly. Really cool stuff. And here we have E here. Elvis is here, who is a paraphernalia, but he can't talk because of copyright restriction. Okay, next up we have another question. Discuss the struggle, challenge of collecting music. Well, the problem is, once you do collect the music, and you've been collecting as long as I have for over 5 decades, that's it, 5 decades, you kind of run out of room. I'm one type of person that can't really get rid of music, no matter what genre. I may not listen to it, but I need to have it. I'm constantly having issues, of course, now with new vinyl, and collecting new vinyl today is expensive. Although based on inflation, prices are pretty similar to what they were in the 70s or 60s if you factor in inflation. For instance, a $5 record in 1975 is equal to a $40 record today. But somehow, psychologically, it still doesn't equate to me. If I'm going to buy 3 records for $40, $50 each, that's $150, where I would have bought 3 records in my heyday in the 70s, and I would have paid $15, $20. So it doesn't. So it's basically finances. Can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. So plus room, struggling with keeping your records in a neat, orderly fashion. Most of my records are in alphabetical order. I have bins where I have newer things that I haven't gotten to yet. But that's part of the struggle, and that's part of the fun of the hobby. So not really a problem, but kind of a incidental byproduct of having a lot of stuff. Name a grail or a sort out album that you would like to get in 2025. Well, I would like to get this record in 2025. I would have also liked to get this record in 1969, 1970, 1971. 50 years ago, I would like to get a Butcher cover album. Here's the Yesterday and Today non-Butcher cover. Here's the original inner, but this is a Capitol rainbow. And you all know the story of the Butcher cover. I'm not going to go into it, but the Butcher cover album came out, was immediately recalled by Capitol US, but instead of destroying the record, they actually would paste this sleeve over the Butcher cover, and in some lucky person finds them. I know people who found them in thrift shops, or people who bought them at yard sales, or people who got them legitimately at a great price, but that's basically it. That would be a nice grail of mine. I do have a repro of the Butcher cover, but I would love to get an original Butcher cover someday, and if I ever see one at a nice deal, I probably would do that. Show an album that people would be surprised to know you own. Well, I don't think people would be surprised to know I own any record, because like I said, I have all genres. I have everything from Sesame Street to Mr. Rogers to Disney to narration to rock and roll to grunge to metal. I don't have a lot of goth records. I have them on CD, but I don't have vinyl. But there's so much. I would say not too many people would be surprised I have it. If you're a real vinyl collector and you see something in the wild, you're gonna probably pick it up. But maybe people would be surprised to see that I have Piazzara. What's her name? Piazzara. 2 great albums. Here she does standards. These albums have hardly been used. I probably played them once when I got them. Really nice inners. So Piazzara. Not really sure how many records she has. This is one of her early records on a pink, nice blue label there on Columbia CBS. I also have, people may be surprised, but I didn't go looking for them, a couple of Taylor Swift CDs that I picked up in the wild. I picked the Taylor Swift up before she became this phenomenon, this crazy phenomenon. I know I sold a few Taylor Swift CDs, and I sold a few Taylor Swift albums that demanded big money or commanded big money at the time. So I don't have any vinyl because some things you do want to get rid of, but I do have some of her CDs, and I have some of Piazzara. So that's basically it. And then the next question on this response from the Northern Vinyl guy. So check out DARRYL. He's been 1 year in the VC, really doing some nice things with his channel. Has a great presentation, nice attitude about life and this hobby. So the next one is, shout out a favorite non-VC related YouTube channel you like. Well, I have one here, and I wrote down the name so I could post it here, very high tech, and that's Gary V. Gary V is a entrepreneur. Gary V is a renowned author on self-help, business, self-help in business, self-help in life, self-help in entrepreneurship. He also has a show in the morning called Tea with Gary V. and his website is Gary V at Gary V. Now, Gary V's got millions and millions of subscribers, so we all look up to Gary V. Great attitude, really down to earth. Have a few of his books. I know Gary V personally as well, so hats off to Gary V, because he is a young man. He's a young man, and he did very well. I'm really proud of him and really proud of his whole organization. And once in a while, I tune in to Gary V with Tea with Gary V and all that other good stuff. So here it is again, if you want to look at that. But hats off and shout out to a non-music channel, although he does branch out and talk about everything. Talk about the arts, talk about definitely sports. Gary V is a huge New York Jet fan, and so that's cool with Gary. But I want to thank DARRYL again and all his listeners and followers for this nice little contest. Hope you enjoy it. I haven't watched many of the others. There's quite a bit of people who have played this game or this contest, because I didn't want to, duplicate or replicate or contaminate anybody else's my own channel based on what I've heard from other people, just because it might be an influence. So these are all fresh ideas. I could have used other records to show other imports, and maybe another grail, but the big grail for me would be the Butcher cover, and I think that's a grail for most people, especially Beatle fans and people who came up in my era where that Butcher cover was always right front and center, but very difficult and almost impossible to locate at a decent price. So thanks again to DARRYL. Good luck with your channel, and good luck with your son's hockey tournament. We'll talk to you soon. Keep rocking, and ciao.